Hello, everyone. My name is Tasha, and we will be learning today. We've been focusing on winter travel. So, we're going to talk about ski vacations within the US for our clients. So, as we get started, why don't you find the chat for me? Let me know if you have booked any ski vacations. Are you a skier yourself? Do you know much about ski and ski vacations? Completely new to skiing world. Okay. So I am a skier. I do mostly ski. I actually should say at this point, I exclusively ski New England. I have actually not booked for a client, but I do know about booking it. So that's where I am. And I will show you some things. I'm going to talk about some, things to consider, top destinations, those kinds of things. All right. So let's get started. All right. So let's first talk. Let me reload that because things are not showing up. Let's first talk about within the US, what are going to be those top destinations for your clients? Okay. I'm just going to make sure I have the live up too in case there are questions. Perfect. Somebody approved it. All right. So let's talk first. What are going to be, I am recording, yes. What are going to be the top destinations? So, first, most of our top destinations are going to be in the western part of the United States. As I said, I ski New England because that's where I live. They are completely different kinds of skiing. That may sound weird and funny, but it's based on the climate and the type of snow. Yes, there are different types of snow. Okay. So out west, they get much more natural snow, and the snow they get is drier than East Coast skiing. Even though I ski in northern New England, where there is the best chance of the most natural snow, and we do get tons of natural snow, we also depend more on snowmaking. And our snow is much denser most of the time. We don't get that fine powder type snow. All right. And a lot of our snow, people who haven't skied East Coast, they're like, it's just ice. And it's as an East Coast New England skier, there's a very big difference between what we ski on most of the time and ice. But most people don't consider that because they're not used to our type of skiing. All right. So we've got multiple locations in Colorado, and they're all going to offer different things. So first we have Aspen and Snowmass. It is more of a luxury resort. They do have dining on site. There's a lot. It's got a culture there. It does have four mountains on one ticket. Vail is going to have very vast terrain, an upscale village. It's almost like its own little town too. And it's for, great for intermediate skiers. Now, with all of this being said, every ski area has beginner areas, intermediate areas, advanced, expert. They do all have that. But when looking at, am I sending brand new skiers? Am I sending experienced skiers? Those things matter, right? Breckenridge has a lively town. It is at a higher elevation, so it's going to have more natural snow. It's good for all levels, and it has a lot of good things for beginner skiers. A lot of good terrain, a lot of good programming. Beaver Creek is family friendly. It is a luxury level. It's going to have fewer crowds. So it's a smaller, less, maybe I want to use less commercialized, right? So it's going to have less people, right? Telluride has some breathtaking scenery. It's more remote, so it has that remote charm. It's got a lot for advanced skiers, okay? Steamboat. So it's famous for what they call their champagne powder. So very fine, fluffy powder. It is very family friendly. So these are going to be the most popular for in Colorado. Let's take a look. Also, Utah is a huge, huge destination for Western skiing as well. Now, the closest airport's going to be Salt Lake City. because there are very much two different areas of Utah. You have the mountains, and then you have areas that are not very mountainous, okay? So, Park City, that's going to be the largest ski resort in the United States. It has a vibrant town. It's very easy to access, okay? Deer Valley, important to know, some of these are not open to snowboard. Deer Valley is one of them. It is only for skiers. They do not allow snowboarders. This is a very upscale ski area, upscale service, luxury lodging. Okay. Snowbird is also going to be great. It's best for advanced skiers because it has a lot of steep terrain. All right. It doesn't mean that it doesn't have things for beginners, but it's going to be better for those advanced. Okay. Now, Alta is also ski only. They do not allow snowboarders. It does have a lot of deep snow. It gets a lot of snow. It's no frills, but it's what they're saying legendary powder, right? So it's a very popular place to visit for the ski experience. These are people that are true, like they're there, they love to ski. They're not there for like this luxury upscale lodging, right? Doesn't mean it's not good lodging, but doesn't have all the bells and whistles when it comes to the accommodations. Okay. We're moving to California in the Lake Tahoe region. Okay. That's going to be a top destination. So we have Heavenly. They can ski with lake views. There's also a very lively après ski. Après ski is that after skiing atmosphere. Okay. That means they've got great restaurants, great bar life for the evening or afternoon. North Star is going to be an upscale family resort. It is great for beginners. It's got lots and lots of options. Okay. Palisades Tahoe was formerly called Squaw Valley. This does have Olympic history. There's been Olympic races there. It's famous for its steeps and its bowls. So those who don't know anything skiing, we have, made trails that are, groomed or not, sometimes not groomed, but a designated trail. But then there's also things that are just open areas. You're going to find that much more out west than you would find that in the New England area or the Northeast. Okay. That there's off of the trails where people can ski. So, and a lot of that is in the form of bowls and different things. Again, for advanced skiers. When we're talking the Northeast, if we're talking about a vacation, the best is Vermont as far as sending somebody on a ski vacation. They have the most likelihood of the most amount of snow, and they have the most number of ski resorts in that pocket of the most amount of snow. With that being said, there are major resorts also in New Hampshire and Maine. Please don't send anyone to Massachusetts for a ski vacation. Do we have ski areas? Yes. I'm not going to say mountain because they're not really mountains. They're like a ski hill, and from the bottom, you can see the top and the whole thing. Those are great local things for people to teach their kids how to ski before they go to the big mountains, but they're not a destination to send people. Okay. So when we're talking Vermont, Stowe, Vermont has that quintessential New England charm. It does have luxury stays as well. All right. Killington is the largest ski area in the East. It does have one of the longest seasons. All right. Typically, they try to get open no later than Halloween, and they do go into May, typically. Now, when we talk about early and late season, it's only going to be a couple of trails and they're going to be advanced. Okemo is a fabulous family-focused resort. They have really great grooming of their terrain, which is important in the East, especially. They're chopping up some of that icy type snow and things like that, right? That being said, I personally ski at a resort in Maine, okay? But Vermont is going to have the most amount of snow, the most variety for booking your clients, all right, and typically longer seasons than the other areas of the Northeast. Yep, Stratton is fabulous. This is just like some of the top and why they would be the best, but there's tons. Another one I would recommend in Vermont for families, especially now, is Jay Peak. Jay Peak. It also has attached to the lodging, it has an indoor water park that you can get as part of the resort. It's got really a great variety for both families with beginners, but then it has some really advanced stuff too, so that there's a variety. Okay. So there are other options. These are just some of the top for different reasons. Yeah, Stratton is great. There's a ton of things in Vermont that are great, as well as other places in northern New England. All right. So also other top destinations out west. They don't have as many, but there are some to note. In Wyoming, Jackson Hole is going to be the best option. It has iconic terrain for experts, stunning scenery. There are both luxury and rustic options for lodging. Okay. Montana, the best option is going to be Big Sky Resort. They have wide open runs, shorter lift lines. That's important because the less time you're in a lift line, the more time you're skiing, right? They also have luxury and rustic lodging options. Now in Idaho, Sun Valley, they're going to have classic charm. They've got some advanced terrain and it is a less crowded resort. All right. So these are important things we want to look at. Now, let's talk about things when we're booking our clients that we want to consider. And these are things that if somebody's planning a ski vacation, we may want to add these questions about these things to our qualification. A ski vacation is different than other types of vacations. They're going specifically to this destination for this sport for reasons for their family. And all people traveling, it's going to be different. So, number one, we do need to know something about their skill levels. Are they a brand new to skiing client and they're going to test it out? Is it a group of friends that, a bunch of them been skiing their whole life and they're bringing, their boyfriend or their girlfriend who's never skied before? What is their level? Because we want to match the resort to their experience. Some are really not the best for beginners. And some that are great for beginners aren't going to give the experts the challenge they're looking for. So we need to look at that. All right. Are they wanting ski lessons or do they have little kids that they want to put in a day-long ski school program? What are they looking for? Now, even if their kids can ski, sometimes people put their kids in a ski program for the day through ski school so that they can ski with other kids of the similar level. Okay. What is their lodging preference? The first one is huge. Are they looking for a ski in, ski out option? What that means is they can put on their ski boots and all their gear, get their skis. Typically, there's like a ski storage because they don't like people bringing them to the hotel rooms. Or it's a condo on property, whatever it is, and they literally can walk out the door and access trails to get to the ski area. Or are they okay with a short shuttle ride? Are they okay with a little bit further away and driving into the resort? All those things matter when we're talking about where their lodging will be. Are they wanting a condo or a vacation home as opposed to a hotel? Are they looking for luxury options? What's their preference with proximity to getting to those lifts to ski, their proximity to dining, their proximity to town? All of those things really matter. And sometimes they matter more than in other vacations, where the lodging is, right? I prefer to not have to take any kind of shuttle or drive. If I'm paying to stay there, I want to be able to walk out and ski first thing in the morning. I don't want to have to go anywhere, right? That's my preference. It's not everyone's preference, right? What are their dates, right? Reminding them that peak season is going to be higher pricing. So holidays, Christmas week, very high. Christmas and New Year's. If you are booking New England, Christmas, New Year week might not be the best option because while the resorts will be open, they may not be fully 100% all trails open in New England. Sometimes you don't know what's going to be open. Now, they do make sure that they get some beginner terrain open as well, but that doesn't mean it might not be the best week, Christmas week in New England. Other places, yes. School breaks. Now, keeping in mind school breaks happen at different times of the year for different areas of the country. New England has a February break and an April break. Most of New England, that February break's going to be President's Day week. So a lot of people from New England will also travel out west that week. So President's Day week is going to be a higher priced week everywhere in the US because a large portion of the US has a school break then. We also have a lot of people throughout March. Throughout March is going to have college spring breaks and traditional spring breaks based on where people live. Those are peak weeks. Okay. We can get better deals for early or late season, but it may not be the full experience, meaning they might not have all the terrain open. Especially late season, they will start shutting down parts of the mountain. And here's why. Depending when people go, people who have a season pass are not the mountain's moneymakers. Their day tickets or their multiple day tickets for people that come for a visit make them more money. So when we get to a certain point in the season, it's mostly season pass holders that are skiing. So they start pulling back a little of what they're offering because they're not making money to pay those workers as much, right? We do want to check the snow reports, the opening and closing dates. A lot of places out west, they have set days that they open and days that they close every single year. In the Northeast, it's a little different because we are dependent on have we had cold enough weather to make snow to get open in the beginning of the season. Okay, so you're going to want to check out those information based on whatever resort you're looking at. Check out their websites and find that info for yourself. Okay. Also, things to consider. What are they wanting for tickets or passes? So, are they looking for a multi-day pass to one mountain? Are they looking for multiple mountains? There are also passes that are bundled together that have access to multiple different resorts. Does your client already have something like the Epic Pass or the Icon Pass? Those have access to multiple different mountains. So if they say they have that and they want to go to a resort that their pass is good on, we need to figure that out, right? Well, okay, what mountain can I bring them to if they have an Epic Pass? All right. There also can often be discounts for bundling the lift tickets with the lodging. Sometimes the lift tickets are less money when they also get lodging on property. Okay. Do they need equipment rentals? Do they own their own equipment? If they're flying, are they bringing their own equipment or are they going to rent? Right? There are people who will bring just their boots and rent skis and snowboards on site if they're flying. There's also people who bring it all or don't own their own stuff. So they can either rent, all right, talk to you later. They can either rent on site or sometimes there's rental shops in town that are not with the mountain. Do they also need to rent helmets, snowboards, Kids gear. What do they need? Right? Do they have any special needs concerning this trip? Do they need childcare? Or are they looking for ski school programs? Most ski school programs will not take a child before they're 3 or 4 years old. So if they have a toddler, sometimes up to 3, depending on the mountain, they all kind of vary. Do they have something for that they could pay for one-on-one childcare that they then have playtime in the snow or whatever the case may be? Do they allow private lessons for children under that age? Most, it's going to be at least 3 years old. All right. So do they need a childcare center on site for them to ski while a baby is there? Are they looking for family-friendly activities off the slopes? And do they either need accessibility or activities and things to do for people who are going that aren't going to ski? Right? We want to make sure if there are people not skiing, they're also not just sitting in a room all day doing nothing. Because some of those resorts can be pretty remote and it's not like they can just go do things, right? Or the weather's not conducive to that, to driving to go somewhere, right? We also want to think about transportation. So, what is the closest airport? And what are the transfer options to get there? For some of these places, the closest airport is going to be a few hours away from where the resort is. So, is their best option finding some kind of transfers or getting a rental car? Rental car might be the best option, even if it's going to sit at the mountain the whole week, right? Because that's their only way to get there. Is there parking available at the lodging? Now, if it's a hotel, obviously there's going to be parking, but check and make sure, are there any fees for parking so you can communicate that with your clients? Extras. What are some add-ons or extras that we could give our clients? Maybe they're looking for other winter activities, snowmobiling, tubing. Those who don't know, like actual, like an inner tube sliding down the hill, like sledding, but they're like tubes, like you would go on a river, but usually they're closed in the middle. And then that après ski, that after skiing things. What are they looking for? Are they looking for a place that has fireworks at least one night every weekend? Are they looking for something that offers entertainment, both family friendly and adult friendly? Maybe there's a spa, or we could make dining reservations and offer that travel protection. So there's a lot of things to consider when we're talking to our clients about booking a ski vacation. It is a different type of travel than just a regular winter trip, right? So let's talk about how we could actually put this together. Now, first of all, we can do like we would other things. Book that hotel, flight, car rental as a package or with separate components through our typical vendors. Usually the limitation with that, like if I were to go look on, RoomRes or Vax to find the hotel or even the flight, hotel, and rental car through Vax or Expedia or something like that, typically we can't package in the lift tickets. We can get the property and the way to get there, but we can't always include the tickets. So typically what I will do is reference, you can buy the tickets. Either I could purchase them for you or you could purchase directly on that site for that mountain. It just depends what would work best. We do, however, have access to ski.com's travel agent portal. So you can register for that. Now it's not ski.com, it's sellmountainvacations.com. So let me pull that up to show you. So it's sellmountainvacations.com is the travel agent site. To register, what you just click register. So it's going to be your name. Remember, anything that says agency, anytime you're registering for a supplier, is going to be Archer's information. So that's going to be Archer Travel. That's going to be their IATA number. Okay. when I registered, put all of my own information. I just put Archer Travel in their IATA. Everything else was my information. And then you click to register. Okay. It's a pretty simple one for registering. Let me log in. I was already logged in. It acted like I wasn't logged in. So see, like I put Archer Travel, I put my information. Yes. And honestly, all I did was look up ski.com travel agent as well. And it pulled it up for me. All right. Oops. That's not what I meant to click. All right. So when you're in here, there's a few different things to do. Depending on what you look at, you may have to request a quote or they have available things to look at. So if you do free quote, you're going to ask them to put something together for you. However, if I go here, create a quote, create a new quote, it gives me the option to choose a location. So let's see. Let's look Breckenridge in Colorado. Now I'm going to choose the dates. I'm going to do it, the school vacation week for here. We've got two adults and two kids. It does ask for the ages of the kids. So let's say they have a 10 and a 12-year-old. And then once I come in, it's going to give me the different options for lodging. Okay. Sometimes it gives the from price, sometimes it does not, I've found. So the good thing here is it does show me the map so that I can see where things are. Let's see. I was trying to see if it showed. Sometimes on these maps, you can see like the actual ski trails. But as we read about them, we can see what they have, right? And it does say, let me zoom in. So like this one says, incredible ski in ski out resort, situated at the base of the Peak 8. This luxurious condominiums are steps from the gondola to get you to, and then you would click more to see it, right? So they do give you information about where they are. All right. It gives you information about what's there and that kind of a thing. It has an adult pool, a kid's pool with a gradual sloping entry. So it has like a zero entry, indoor tub, outdoor hot tub with fire pit, sauna, and steam room. Now you might be going outdoor pool or tub. It's actually quite common at ski resorts. They're heated and you can get into them from inside. All right. This one also has a 2-lane bowling alley, right? It's got a lot of things. Take a free shuttle to take you anywhere in town. All right. That sounds like a good option to me. How do I make it go away? Oh no. One ski hill. Place. Let me just reload the page because it didn't want to agree with me. All right. So I click see my options. Now you do have to remember this does not include their air travel to get them there. This is including their package, and we can see what's included in their package. Okay. So this is the resort and the hotel. So what's included? So they tell you the different, they have a studio sleeps for, fees paid at check-in or check-out. There's a 13.5% taxable resort fee collected at check-in and check-out. So it's telling you that it includes the room. It's really just telling us the room right now. Okay. So they have different types of studios. Maybe they want the 1 bedroom. Okay. They want a little bit more space. It does sleep 4. They do have larger ones as well, but they're only a family of 4, right? So let's just do the 1 bedroom. Add to cart. So it does have travel insurance right here that you could add in. Okay. So I'm going to add that travel insurance. And we could add or modify. We want to add lift tickets. So we have two different options, or a few different options anyway. They're going to be there a whole week. A 2-day pass is not going to cut it, right? So let me just look. We need to look at the details for these, see what it says. Valid for 2 total days at these multiple resorts. It does have more options. So let's say they're flying out on Saturday and flying home on a Sunday. They're going to want that 7 days. They're going to want to ski every day because you don't go on a trip like this and not ski every day. Okay. This is expensive. Ski tickets are expensive. So they need 2 adults and they need 2 children. So we're looking at $11,400 for this trip with insurance. This is before flights based on where they're coming from. There are a lot of people who already have that Epic Pass and they will. So see, the insurance did go up. Yet skiing is not a cheap vacation ever. The the most accessible way to ski is to be able to have something somewhat local to you or a few hours and you get a season pass that covers it. So somebody who already has an Epic Pass, this would cover it and they're skiing other places more than just that week. Because their lift tickets alone are like $3,000. We can also add flights on here. So let's say they're flying from Boston to, and it tells you how far these are. So the closest major, I mean, this is a regional airport. It's possible, but my thought is that's going to be more money. They're also going to need a rental car. So it's going to give us options. So you can put the whole package together here. Okay. I mean, I don't think they want to leave that late at night. That seems crazy. So we can do morning departure, 9:30 a.m. to 2. They don't want that late coming back though either. They're not going to want that overnight flight home, but it looks like that's the only option. So this might be something that I would potentially look flights separately just because they're also not going to want a 6 a.m. flight because it's going to be far from where they are. Wonder if we could do a mid-afternoon. So this might be something I would look, like, are there better options for booking it separate? Because my guess is there are not just almost midnight flights and get in at 9 in the morning. And if they were going to do that, we might cut a day back so that they would get home on Sunday morning. Oh, wait, did I have them flying till Saturday? 14, 15, 16. No, I had them Sunday. So, but you can add it, is more the point, right? You can add things. We can also add car rentals, right? We could add anything we wanted all in one package here. Now, as a travel agent doing my due diligence, though, I would make sure that the other components I couldn't get at better prices. Again, the benefit here is we can add the lift tickets. The lift tickets I can't get except on here for my client. It's really hard to get them. But we can also look other options as well. they may just want to get them there. And then does it show us our, I'm trying to see if it shows commission. So there's also two different travel insurances. The other one has cancel for any reason. So we may want to be upping that to cancel for any reason for a trip that's this expensive. Continue. I'm just trying to see where it shows commission. Um, show pricing, show travel insurance. You can add a service fee in addition, which is always good, but it will show up on there. You also can call them for them to help you. If you don't know about booking ski and you're asking for help, you can call them and work with somebody. I'm trying to see though if it shows. Let me do it this way. Let's go back and see what it tells us about that information. Dashboard, menu, commission breakdown. All right, so 10% commission on lodging for the majority of the inventory. Obviously not taxes and resort fees because that's never included. All right. 10% on all lift ticket purchases. So you still get 10%, and usually your client is saving money when you bundle it this way. It's pretty much, it looks like it's 10% on everything. 10% on ground transportation, either private limousine, shuttle, or rental car. 10% if you do equipment rental through ski.com. 10% on the travel insurance. There is not commission on ski school programs. And then they said basically, since most flights are not commissionable, they can't guarantee they would be able to give you commissionable flights. So that's pretty normal and pretty typical. So if we're looking at this trip, this does include taxes and fees, but you can also add an additional service fee if you chose to, which is always nice. So it shows us I didn't even see that there, shows the commission right here. So this is a huge trip. So we've got 698.08. Then on each of these, 83, 80, 83, 80, 42, 80, and 127, 47. So just over $1,000 is the commission for this trip, which works out about right if we're thinking 10%, not counting taxes and fees. All right. This is going to be the best way to package a whole trip together. Now, if I were to try to put the same trip together, let's just look. Maybe I do add the rental car on this one. Typically, when you go into Vax, it keeps doing that to me. Whenever it doesn't show the whole thing, it doesn't let me search it. Vax. All right. Now there is an option in here. I've seen it before. Ski. Flight and hotel. Or ski hotel only. All right, so we're going from Boston. Now it gives me the ski areas. Breckenridge. 2 adults, 2 children. They were 10 and 12. They're going to go February 14th to 22nd. And I don't actually know if you can add tickets on here. Oh, why? Why can't you match my search? That's odd. There's definitely flights available then. Um, let's just try a different one and see what happens. Breckenridge via Denver. Hmm. Maybe I'm just gonna put Denver and see what happens. Maybe then it'll let me choose. It's taking longer, which is always a good sign on Vax. I'm also checking to see if there's any questions on Facebook as we're doing this. I don't see any. Okay. All right. So we have to remember this is showing hotels in Denver, not necessarily where the ski area is. So we can look up. We looked it up. This hotel was. I'm just gonna look up Breckenridge because it. Breck. Well, that's frustrating. A lot of times it'll show up, but it might be doing just right in Denver. Could be the problem. So this is where, so see where I run into air. It's much more difficult looking on here, right? What was the name of the hotel? I did add lodging. All right. It was called One Ski Hill Place. Let's see if that even pops up. Reset. Because it may be looking just here. So this is where we run into issues. It's possible that Breckenridge is not available on Vax. You can, however, look for ski vacations on here. It gives you the option, but it is clearly much easier on ski.com. Let's look. Let's look Park City, Utah, and see what comes up. And this is one of the challenges of booking ski vacations is that it's not always easy. I'm just going to do 7 days to find what you're looking for. It is significantly easier on the ski.com travel agent site. This may work better because Park City is an actual ski area city or ski resort city, I should say. And again, Breckenridge just might not be on here. They might not have any of those resorts on here, and that's why I got the error. This looks more like going there, $21,000. Oh my, let's look at the It also chose the Waldorf Astoria, so let's be realistic here, right? Um, so I would want to look at these and see what they offer, right? Because some of them, even though they say Salt Lake City or Park City, they may not actually be on property. So let's look. Partner King. Let's look at this one, find out. I mean, those are ski trails right there. However, there are different promotions. You always want to check. Don't book the non-refundable if you can book other options like advance purchase, special discount. Find out if you can. Heart of Park City, ski in, ski out. So this is what most people are going to want to ski in, ski out if they can. Let's look at the different rooms. So it does look like all of these are non-refundable. Advance purchase is non-refundable. One king bed, Rocky Mountain decor, kitchenette, two queens, one bedroom, suite. It does look like there's no rates that are not non-refundable. And it's possible that week is expensive. As I said, it's New England school vacation week, so it's going to be more. All right. They only have options with one stop. There are no non-stop for this. So this would get them in local time a little around noon. There's no big red errors like it's a basic economy, which I do not book. I'm just curious if you can add lift tickets on here. All right. We're gonna try to not do a next day arrival because they're coming back on Sunday. Did I do Sunday or did I do Saturday? Well, they're coming back on Saturday. They could do next day arrival. Yeah, skiing is not cheap. It is not cheap. However, I will let you know that I pay around that 1 week price of a ticket for my whole season pass. But I also buy in at the least expensive date to lock it in at the lowest price. And I get like yeah, there's not tickets on here. So you'd have to get the tickets separately. So again, that's part of the disadvantage. You can't bundle it all for them. But you can book on here the resorts and flights to it as well. So those are just two different ways that you could be doing it. But where it's not, you could look Evo Plus to see if you could do a great, option. This is a very low commission. That means that it's the flights. I would definitely add to that. That's a very low commission. $364 for a $12,000 trip. It's because it's the flights. The flights are what's the most money right there. But you could look Evo Plus for the resort to maybe make an instant commission and then book the flights and rental car separate because you're going to have to direct them to the mountain's website for tickets anyway. If you're not doing it on ski.com, it's travel agent site. Okay. So, questions about what we went over today. Hopefully, this helps at least give you a starting point to look up what's going to work for a client if they want a ski vacation in the
I have
US.
a question, Tasha.
Mhm.
Can would you be able to get the tickets like on Viator?
Not usually, no.
Okay, I
Think
just
so.
wondered. I didn't know. I've never got them.
I have never looked that way, but I don't think so.
I just wondered, like, say out there in Breckenridge or any place, if you could do
I
it that way, if you went on Evo Rewards
Let me look
or Evo
Viator. Let's see.
Plus.
Breckenridge Ski Resort. Let's see.
It's going to be interesting.
I've never looked. I've honestly never looked. No, it's a mountain tour is the only thing on here.
Oh, okay.
I don't think so. Let's look. I
All
don't know
right.
Evo rewards. Let's look. Evo rewards. Yeah, I've never tried to get ski tickets. I pretty much ski mostly one place or two other places that my Um, I don't want in Haverhill. Let me go travel. We're not skiing in the city I live in. It's not going to work. Ski. So we don't want hotels. We want parks and tickets. Let's see. I don't think so. Yeah, nope. There is not a way to get them on one of those. That was a good thought, though.
I just happened to think, I mean,
Yeah, I
if
didn't.
we,
I feel like I probably looked before. You could definitely try booking Expedia tap, but it's definitely not going to have the lift tickets.
right.
Pretty
Okay.
sure that that ski.com is the only one that's going to have lift tickets.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
This was very good.
Thank you. I'm glad it was helpful. But yeah,
Sure.
let me look activities. Ski. Let's just check. I don't think so, but let's look. But you could put a package together there as well.
Right.
Um, and again, as a travel agent, our job is not pick the one that's easiest for us, it's pick the one that's in the best interest of our clients. And that
Hmm.
be the easiest to put together. So they have other activities in the area, like a guided snowshoe, you know, so there's other activities you can put together for people who are not skiing or if they're not going to ski every day, but they do
Hmm.
e-tickets other ways.
Well, that's cool though.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah,
I
skiing is
mean,
very expensive, Sonia. Out there, single day tickets can be up to $200 a day out there.
wow.
Where I ski, the daily ticket, let's just look. I don't even know. The daily, because I don't pay for a daily ticket. And this is a major resort in New England. Oh, they had a little doggy thing this weekend, Rough Mountain. Oh my goodness. So winter lift tickets are probably not on sale, but let's look. I feel like they're at least like $110 a day. I mean, this is showing discounted for December, and this is they don't know if the like Christmas week, $126 on the day after Christmas for a 1 day ticket, and that's 21% off. And the same, that's our vacation week, $131 on that Saturday and that weekend of vacation week. That's a 1 day ticket. So my season pass is well worth it. I think I paid 900 and I ski well more than 9 days. You know, like that's the way to do it. It is a very expensive sport. Any other questions? I told you all I have expensive hobbies. Skiing, Disney, traveling at other places, cruises. Those are my hobbies. And I don't see any questions on the Facebook page. So, Anne, do you have a question? I do have expensive hobbies, Sonia. That's why I need a business. All right. If there are not other questions, thank you so much for joining me. If you are watching the replay or you think of questions after the fact, please put them in the comments on the Facebook Live. That way I could answer them for you. But thank you for joining me today, guys, and have a great rest of your day. You're welcome. I'm glad it was helpful. Oh, okay. No question. Bye, everybody.